On 3rd of September, in Nyeri, another team from the National Intelligence Service came to Nyeri and tried to poison food that was meant for me and Kikuyu Council of Elders. Undercover security agents entered my room in Kisumu and bagged it, and one of them tried to poison my food. But we detected it, and we were able to escape the scheme. I was supposed to be killed through poisoning. I did report this matter to the National Intelligence Service, and the officers who were assigned to my office, I asked them to leave because I felt I was not safe. After the 2 attempts to assassinate me through food poisoning failed, it is when this impeachment motion was hatched. Mr. President, don't overtax people. You are killing them, you are killing their businesses. Don't force a housing program on people. If people do not want these houses, don't force them. And many of his people are calling here asking whether I'm dead, whether I'll survive, whether I'll recover. They were celebrating. My only problem with the president is just being truthful, because nobody else can tell him. This Adani thing is not good for the country. There's too much corruption, Mr. President. This housing thing is being forced down on the people of Kenya, and they don't like it. Please don't force it down on them. And looking at it, I don't think the president had any intention of ever working with me. I think he just needed me to help him win the election because of my mobilization capacity and the faith that the Mount Kenya region has in me. I was ready for cross-examination so that I answer those 11 counts one by one, and I'm sure had I been given that opportunity, I would have persuaded the senators otherwise. But I ask, let the president obey court orders. Through a court order, Rigathi Gachagua is deputy president. Why doesn't he have cars? Why doesn't he have security? Why has his office been made dysfunctional?
Well, Rigathi Gachagua was a no-show today at the Mashujaa day that happened in Kwale. What we only got from Rigathi Gachagua today in celebration of the Mashujaa day was this tweet by Rigathi Gachagua saying that he wishes all Kenyans to have a happy Mashujaa day. Well, we were very interested to see how Kithure Kindiki, the new deputy president nominee by the president, will be taken or will be treated in this Mashujaa day, because the treatment of Kithure Kindiki will directly tell you the direction of the government regarding all this conundrum that is ongoing in the country. We know that as per now, we have a deputy president that was impeached, but is still somehow regarded to be in office because there is a court case. There is a conservatory order that was given by the courts that has not affected Kithure Kindiki to be sworn in as the new deputy president. So Kithure Kindiki has not yet taken office, while we know in one way or another Rigathi Gachagua was impeached and is not supposed to be in office. So there is some kind of a vacancy in the deputy president's position, and we are very interested to see how Kithure Kindiki will be treated today in the Mashujaa Day in Kwale. And it was very interesting because, first of all, Kithure Kindiki went through the back entrance and did not come through the arena. And that is always the procedure when we are talking about the deputy president. They use the arena to enter into such celebrations. But this one was very special because Kithure Kindiki, the deputy president nominee, did not go through the arena. He went through the back door, and that is akin to all cabinet secretaries who were present in the meeting. Also, it was very important to note that Kithure Kindiki came in before the Prime Cabinet Secretary, Musalia Mudavadi. That shows that still there is some considerations to be met before he could achieve all the full status of a deputy president. So the message today that we're getting from the government is that it is still not that confirmed that Kithure Kindiki is the sitting deputy president, because he was not accorded all the rights of a deputy president when it came to these celebrations. But it was very also interesting to see the Prime Cabinet Secretary acknowledging Kithure Kindiki secondly after the president and the first lady, because when the Prime Cabinet Secretary, that is Musalia Mudavadi, was given the podium to speak, he started by acknowledging the president. That is the itinerary. He started by acknowledging the president, then the first lady, and then he said the deputy president nominee, that is Kithure Kindiki. So in such a way, he was also acknowledged. And the sitting position of Kithure Kindiki could also tell you that there is some acceptance from the government that this is the person that will be the deputy president of Kenya henceforth, because Kithure Kindiki was seated just next to the first lady, and that is usually the position of the deputy president of the Republic of Kenya. Something else of importance to note was that Kithure Kindiki was not given the podium to give a speech. We know that the person who invites the president to speak in such official ceremonies is the deputy president. And by that nature, Kithure Kindiki was not given the chance to invite the president and make a short speech and invite the president. It was the Prime Cabinet Secretary who was given that chance to welcome the president. Finally, something also of importance was that the person who welcomed the president in this occasion was none other than the deputy president nominee, that is Kithure Kindiki.
How are you? Salama. Governor, you're well? Very good.
And that was also very, very important. It was Kindiki who welcomed the president. And that is telling also, because the only person who welcomes the president in a particular region is the person who is next in charge. That is usually the protocol, that the person who will welcome the president once he touches down first is the highest person in that region. And that person today was Kithure Kindiki. He is the person who welcomed the president. So we are seeing the government trying to play safe in this matter, because they know that this case is still in court, and this case has to be arbitrated by the courts, and they are going to defend themselves. They don't want to find themselves in a position where they cannot defend themselves regarding the treatment of the deputy president nominee, in that they maybe treated him as if he has already occupied the office. That is why the Prime Cabinet Secretary was very, very keen to call him the deputy president nominee, and all other people refer to him as the deputy president-elect or the deputy president nominee. He still doesn't hold that office, and that was the government trying to play safe in this matter, so that when it comes to a court process, they don't find themselves on the wrong side of the case, where they will have to argue why they gave the deputy president nominee all the accolades of a deputy president even before he is sworn in as the deputy president. Well, going by the full speech of the president and just listening to the key message that he was giving, he was very, very cautious not to mention the court process of the deputy president nominee, as well as the fact that his long-time deputy president has been impeached in parliament. So the president tried also to play it safe, not to mention the court cases. And you could hear from the undertones, the president said that we are past tribalism and we should not get into the deep ditches of tribalism, and we should remain as one country, in one way or another, trying to speak about the issue, but not directly. That was the president trying to give his message about the current situation. Of course, the president will be bold about the situation once the deputy president nominee has been sworn in office, and perhaps that specific day when the deputy president nominee will be sworn in office. We know that this ceremony was to happen yesterday, and it did not take place because of the conservatory orders given by the courts, and the government just withdrew from the process. But I suspect that in this coming week, we are going to have that event, because it is adamant that the government has already made up its mind by the sitting position, by the protocol that has been observed today, looking at Kithure Kindiki, even by the fact that Kithure Kindiki was the second person to leave the arena today after the president, it was the motorcade of Kithure Kindiki that came second, and then the motorcade of the Prime Cabinet Secretary. So if you're keen, you could have noticed that the government has already made up its mind regarding the holder of the office of the deputy president, and that will be Kithure Kindiki, and all other government officials seem to have aligned to back the nomination of Kithure Kindiki. And you could even see in his Twitter pages that Kithure Kindiki is now taking up the serious roles of the deputy president by starting to broadcast the whole event, by even tweeting in a similar way as a deputy president will have tweeted regarding this ceremony. So we are waiting for the 24th for the case to be heard so that we know who will be Kenya's deputy president going forward, and how will, if at all, Kithure Kindiki will be confirmed, how will the impeachment of Rigathi Gachagua go on from that, because we know that Rigathi Gachagua might appeal, he might do everything to slow the process down. Someone say that Rigathi Gachagua can even try to do this for the entire term, which I don't think is feasible, but there is that direction that Rigathi Gachagua wants to take. Maybe he wants to prove his case. We know that he didn't attend the cross-examination, but the matter now is in court. Perhaps he will be forced to go through cross-examination in court. All these matters will be heard in 24th, and we'll be here to give you more information about how the process will go on and the quest to have a new deputy president in the Republic of Kenya.